Hello, everyone. You're very welcome to this very special Man United Agenda reaction to the upcoming EFL Cup semi-final draw. Um, Manchester United will be in the bowl with Newcastle, Southampton, and Nottingham Forest, who today won on penalties. Stay with us for this. Well, folks, the semi-final lineup is complete. Manchester City have been dumped out of the EFL Cup, something that they have won on multiple occasions in the last 8 years. Now, maybe Pep had one eye on the fixture on Saturday against Manchester United and wasn't overly bothered, but we will soon know who our opponents are in this semi final. The options are Newcastle, Southampton, and of course, Nottingham Forest. Oh, we have Yankee talking smack in the building. How we doing? Has to be Forest versus United and Newcastle versus Southampton, written in the stars to face Lingard and the other chapter of United versus Newcastle Cup finals to recommence. Um, is that your favourite, so Yankee, that you would be facing Nottingham Forest? Given the circumstances, would Southampton not be maybe the path of lesser resistance? There is opportunity for issues, would you not think? Um, Newcastle, though, as well, maybe in the semi final might be easier to deal with. I don't know how you feel with regards to that, but let us know what you thought of today's EFL action. Definitely a surprise to see Pep Guardiola dumped out of the EFL Cup and no longer competing on all fronts this season. However, I'm sure the larger prizes of Premier League and Champions League are currently on their mindset. But given the circumstances now, a semi-final spot, it is obviously a cup that we could definitely win. Would you not think? Wildlife Machine, United versus anyone. We don't care. United all the way. Yankee, I would rather go to Southampton than to Forest in the final, but just have a gut feeling about it. Well, obviously, the final would be in Wembley. Ben Alcock, welcome, welcome, welcome. He's saying, bring anybody on. He does not care who we face. Yank, if we have Forest in the final, it'd be mint, but they wouldn't have Hendo. Yeah, we were only discussing that actually in the United Agenda WhatsApp group with regards to whether or not Dean Henderson could play. We know that they can play in the FA Cup and Premier League, but does it also extend to EFL Cup? Cormac, you're saying another one for the selection. You're extremely confident so of Manchester United progressing, I would imagine. Andy Taylor, how are you doing? Welcome to the Man United agenda. Surely you have to win this from this point on. Well, you would think, obviously, that Manchester United should try and kick on at this point. However, we cannot take anything for granted. There have been some major shocks in this year's rendition of the Carabao Cup. We are still awaiting the draw to commence. So, as soon as we get that, we can react to where we are sitting. But in terms of the EFL Cup, obviously, we saw Heaton starting yesterday. Is it now going to be necessary that we have to continue and show the faith in Heaton in semi-final, or do we revert to David De Gea now that we have overcome that Charlton fixture and we won't likely have the fixture congestion later on in the tournament? What are your thoughts on that front? And what about Wolverhampton? They rested a number of players against Liverpool in the FA Cup at the weekend with their eyes on this EFL quarter final, but failed to progress past Nottingham Forest. How much of a disappointment will that be for them, do you think? Ben, you're saying we should show the faith in Heaton. Absolutely, I agree with you 110% that we probably do need to show some bit of loyalty to the player that got us there. Now, that being said, he actually hadn't featured in any of the previous games before that, so maybe, just maybe, he could find that that could be his one appearance in this year's tournament. And I do believe the draw is not too far away, so we will know in the not too distant future who our opponents are going to be. But obviously, each side does present its own challenges. Newcastle obviously will be looking at possibly gaining a first bit of silverware in quite some time as well, and will not be taking anything for granted in this year's tournament. The one thing that's concerning them at the moment, I think, is there is some fitness concerns over Trippier. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not he shakes off that niggle and how a few injuries might impact their squad. They have been without one of their strikers since very early in this season, and he's yet to return to the fold for them. But the draw now is coming up there shortly. So any favorite memories there in the chat of prior EFL glory? Now, we've had one there in the last couple of years, but the managers didn't really get too much breathing room for just delivering a EFL Cup trophy to Manchester United. But the draw, as that we say, we are waiting on, and hopefully we will be able to give a decent reaction to how that unfolds. We have Forest at Forest. There we go. The draw is in Nottingham Forest in Forest. Definitely going to be a rather difficult fixture for us. So Newcastle will be facing Southampton. Have we got a venue for that yet, Ben? Big G, how are you doing? Nottingham Forest is the draw for Manchester United. How do you feel about this draw? Cormac, yes, indeed, we do have Nottingham Forest. Does anybody know whether or not Dean Henderson is available? We still are yet to ascertain whether or not he can face his parent club. Kings Football, how are you doing? You join us as we found out that Forest will be our opponents in the semi-final of the EFL Cup in Forest. Tough game away, says Andy Taylor. Straightforward at home. It is a great draw. Yes, indeed. And obviously, this is going to be the main focal point of Nottingham Forest now for the remainder of the season. They have got themselves into a position where they are one game away from a final in Wembley. And obviously, the difficulties that they are having in the Premier League at the moment, they will be looking to address those and possibly survive for another season. Big G, you're saying it is the easiest draw by far. But the question is, Dom, would it have been better and more favourable for us to try and dispatch of Newcastle in the semi-final than look at a one-off fixture in Wembley where everything will be riding on Newcastle's ability to try and turn us over? That will be the main question. But Manchester United have, in fact, got, I suppose, a draw that will see us more than likely progress to that final in Wembley. But do we have a date yet for the fixture? Do we know when those semi-finals are taking place? Let me know as soon as you can. I was hoping to be joined by Mr. B on a Monday, but at the moment it does not seem that they are available. But in regards to the fixture, it definitely is one that we should be looking to capitalise on. Of course, Manchester United are facing the now removed Manchester City on Saturday at 12:30. Any thought on how you feel that will go? Will Manchester City now be licking their wounds, having been dispatched by Southampton, or do you feel that they, in fact, pulled up the handbrake today? do let me know in the comments there, and we will go through a few of them before we call it an evening. But Manchester United at the moment are now focusing on Premier League action, with three coming up in the next, is it 9, 10 days? So we have City, we have Crystal Palace, and we have Arsenal. Now, big games indeed. But I think everyone here in the Man United agenda is happy with the draw today. And I do want to mention that we are sponsored by GMS Global Mapping Surveys, who engage in topographical surveys and are going to be linked in the comments below for any of your survey needs. That's GMS. Now, there is 12 of you in the chat. Please do consider giving us a like, share, and subscribe. And any comments that you have on the draw, please do put them in on the show there after we wrap up. I don't see any more comments coming through at the moment, but from me, I think at this stage, we will have to say glory, glory, Manchester United. Take us down United Road to the place where we belong, and that is Wembley Stadium and another cup final. Cormac, yes, we have City, Palace, and Arsenal, and we're taking all 9 points. Mark my words. Hoo. I tell you what now, Cormac, if I'm sitting here this time Sunday week and we have claimed 9 from 9, I think we will be very happy individuals indeed. Now it looks like that we may have Weghorst for at least 2 of those games, so that will indeed pose an interesting aspect to the whole thing. Now I do see 14 of you are still with us here in the chat. Please do let us know your thoughts on the draw, because it is looking like it's shaping up, as Big G said, to be destined for United to face Newcastle once more in cup action in Wembley, barring somebody not reading the script and upsetting the apple tart. It has happened today, and it could happen again in the semi-finals. But for me, I think this is where I'll have to leave it for today. Manchester United will be in action again on Saturday. We will have the preview for that match tomorrow with Solo and company at 8 o'clock, I think, is when they're going live. We will confirm that for you in the not too distant future. And from us, a very good night from the Man United agenda. And let's see where things go from here.